Hello, bag chasers. It's your boy, Reckless Ray De Niro, and we're back again Sunday, February 5th, doing the portfolio recap. But first, let's get to the housekeeping. And we have a couple of things I kind of slacked on my shout outs to the new people that are joining the family over here on the channel. So, the first order of business is we're going to give some shout outs. First of all, my homie Pat gave me a sub to the channel. Not only that, me and Pat have been rapping about some stuff offline on my other um, release that I do every week, which is the Future Financial Strategies. Um, and so like that's pretty cool. Actually, getting some feedback on the fly and like having those conversations be relevant. We also have a MJ co-train. Oh, actually, another one of the homies, which is dope. That is dope. MJ co-train 11 shout outs. So as we're building towards 100 subs, we're gonna do some special stuff at 100. I've got planned that will go across all of my releases that we have during that time period. Um, Couple of other. I'm looking at kind of just sharing stuff that I'm into, and that's just going to be the channel. I know it's not geared towards being the greatest. I am not trying to be a social media influencer. If something catches, cool, but it'll be something that I'm doing. It's not something that I'm trying to do. I'm not starved for attention. I have a real life. It's pretty freaking awesome. So, not having to do this and not needing money from it's pretty nice because I don't have to grovel to the masses for people to watch my stuff. If it's relevant, this is me documenting my journey. I really don't care if anyone watches it. I'm just going to throw that out there. Um, that said, those of you who are here rocking with me on the journey with me, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have some great conversations. I'm already having some great conversations. As far as I'm concerned, this channel and my content in general and the stuff that I'm doing is attracting exactly what I am looking for, not what society tells us we should be looking for because we're putting out content. And I feel like that's pretty important because there are so few actually authentic people in these spaces. And realistically, for me, I'm looking to, grow my network, the people that I'm talking with, and I'm looking to have some dope conversations, not necessarily conversations with people that implicitly agree with me, but conversations, period. On this channel specifically, the cryptocurrency playlist that I am updating for you guys, it's tracking my portfolio, and this has made me more money this year than all years previously going into a bull run because I'm having to explain everything that I'm doing. Hopefully, it's adding value to some of you. If not, then, there's like a bunch of other people who are sensationalizing everything. And, you know, that's who those people are here for, which is cool. I'm actually trying to build something and I'm documenting my journey to, show what works, show what doesn't work. So, with that said, obviously this goes live day of to those who are in the bag chasers. That is the Anton Daniels of antondaniels.com bag chasers. Link is in the description. When you join up, make sure to leave them a little note that old Reckless Ray De Niro is the reason that you joined the network. I do think it is a great network. It is a network that I am part of. I originally started this channel and increasingly everything else that I'm doing because of my involvement in that network. So my way of honoring them is sending traffic via this specific lane directly there. This is if you want to send me a direct message, getting immediate answers. I am probably way quicker to get a hold of on there than I am other things because I do check that daily. In the Discord, specifically in the cryptocurrency channel, I do chime in on a couple of other channels that I feel that I can contribute in. But that aside, um, it kind of is what it is. Another way is you can contact me via email, recklessraydenaro@gmail.com. Emails I do answer live on the stream. I will send email. I've decided that I'm going to email reply direct after I post the episode. I will send you a personal answer that's basically going to be what I said in the episode. But if you want to contribute to the platform, obviously, I don't really believe that there are any dumb questions, only dumb people. That said, most questions are questions that other people have as well. So I do, if I'm getting a lot of questions that are repeat questions that are similar to the same question, I'm going to make those a topic. Sort of like today, because when people bring stuff to my attention, I'm like, cool, I can go off on a rant on this for a little bit, and I will make that part of the show. That said, I do highly recommend joining the Bag Chasers. There's a lot of different, varying levels of game. There's a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different income levels. There's brokies like me. There are people who are not brokies like me. There's people who are in multi phases of their journey that can provide insight to where you're at in your journey, myself included, as we're building. This is a documentation of us building together. Namely, me building because I'm risking my money, so we get to see what's going on with my money. I do have skin in the game. And basically, this is me tracking said skin in said game. With that said, obviously, we're in the process of a little drawback here on the market and overall upward trend. I am not officially buying it. I am pulling. I did have a couple of positions that hit profit metric. So we pulled those over into Bitcoin. Difference being this week, the Ethereum position. Ethereum's kind of taken a little bit of that hit. So it has dropped. Synthetics has increased a little bit. All the rest of the positions are pretty small. The Urine curve, we did hit the sell metric to pull profits into our Bitcoin position to hold that for end of year payback. I'm getting really excited though because I'm almost there. We are so close on the next large buy-in where we get to send half Ethereum over to the Alchemix treasury to deploy into the market. And I'm pretty excited about that because certain positions are within specs so that I don't have to. So like I've got like a little bit more of this urine curve, but I'm looking at starting potentially, depending on where it's sitting, my redacted position, which is much higher than when I originally looked into it. But I do like that project, and I am considering using that for my next position. There's that. I've also got I've got a couple of different ideas in the hopper for what I'm going to do next. But that redacted position, depending on what the payout is on that and where we're sitting, could be the next one. This week we did our end of month finances, did our cash out. Definitely had a boost to the crypto portfolio overall, which was beautiful. I'm loving it. You know, these green numbers over the macro are awesome. This is very healthy. The red numbers that we're seeing, it's not just a beeline up, it's a trend up, but overall I'm kind of liking where we're sitting here cuz we're making the start of those moves up. Obviously, me personally, I'm not looking for anything spectacular or sensational until 2025, so all the positions we're making now at minimum, I'm looking at like the ones that I'm really condensing down after the experience of almost fumbling the bag. It like draws that hand in, and I'm like, I can wait till 2025 and just ride this out and get into positions that I'm totally fine holding for 2 years. And I'm getting more and more towards that. Like I've got my little bit that's out there, but most of my positions, I'm looking at them and I'm like, man, this really needs to be something that I'm locking away for 2 years and just kind of riding it out. So there's probably not going to be a whole bunch more crazy stuff. I haven't done my gambling buys for 2023 yet. So I still have a little bit of money to throw into those, but those are going to be 50, probably like $150 total. I'm going to look at 3 plays, um, and just seeing what happens going into 2025. Obviously, one of them will be Terra Luna. I did an end of year buy, but now that we've started the fresh year, as far as gambles go, might as well go to the one that took all the money in the first place, and see if we can make something out of that. Those I have staking, and it just kind of sits there. It's generating stuff, but it's not. I'm not gonna put enough money in there to where I'd have something to lose. It'll be like $50, and that'll be it. The other one will probably be Shiba Inu. Will be creeping up on here because that is every bull run that becomes a great swing trade, swinging against all the new people in the market who are trying to get rich tomorrow. Like, they will become exit liquidity, and sitting on it for 2 years at $50, little gamble fund. So if it goes up, then it goes up. Like, you just put $50 in there and wait for it to go to a penny, and you could have some interesting conversation pieces. So we'll probably be throwing $50 at that, and then the last one, I'm not sure. I don't know that I'd want to do Doge. I have like some very old bags of Doge that never got interesting enough for me to sell. We'll see if it produces something, but I don't know that if I'm not going to get something that could be potentially exciting or interesting for me if off of a gambling play, then I'd much rather place that in things that I can definitely flip and make money off of. So that one's probably not on there, but there's a couple of other projects that I'm looking at that are looking pretty good. And like as we look at this chart, the overall sentiment of how you get the big green macro number is you'll look at my deal. The majority of this are 2 plays that I am very, very well educated on and I understand. And I went ahead and did the least exciting plays first. And then, that way if you're riding volatility, I can ride volatility on things that I'm versed in. Obviously, we've got a 37% gain on Ethereum. We have a 42% gain on synthetics, both doing what they needed to do and both holding down the portfolio. So the rest of this, and I mean, you look over here, like these are everything's overall in green because some of this stuff is payout stuff. And so, like, I'm not buying this. This is just stuff that's getting kicked to me as we're going. And, I'm just sitting on it, letting it accrue, which is cool. Kind of the way you want your portfolio, in my opinion, structured, to where money's coming in and you have your anchors very, very clearly steeped into the boring stuff, into the stuff that's not very interesting. And so, with that, let's go through the top 10. So, our top 10 coins are as follows. Obviously, number 1, Ethereum. That's the heaviest weight in the pool. Probably will be the entire year until we start the bull run, because Ethereum won't go up as high as some of the more speculative positions that we have. Number 2, Synthetics Network, which is cool. Big DeFi project, backbone project, solid project. I like it. Number 3, Wrapped Bitcoin. Considering a treasury holding this year, we're gonna scrape the gains off that, so that way when we get to paying back, hopefully we get a little bit of boost over just holding cash. Also, that's in a liquidity position, so it is earning money while I am waiting to pay my loan back, which is also cool. Yearn, Curve. that is a synthetic curve. That's where we're holding their curve. It's a great position. Really easy staking. Kicks off some income. Enough said. Um, Polygon Matic is position number 5. And, another staple, a lot of stuff going on it. Not my favorite chain to use, but I've been using it, and it seems so far that they've made some improvements to where it's in the usability range. Still not as buttery smooth as Arbitrum or Optimism, in my opinion. But I am also biased because I was there when Polygon started, and I got to use it when it was absolutely terrible. So I probably do still have a slight foul taste in my mouth from said experience. Not gonna lie, it's really hard to bring me back into the fold if you create a product that doesn't function well. But so far, usable. Life token, another position that I'm in, position that I was previously in way back when. It's come back into the fold. So far, so good. No complaints. It's doing what it needs to do, and the liquidity position's paying decently. So there's that. Then we have Wrapped Ether, obviously. Synthetic BTC, obviously. Velindrome Finance was a payout that I've had. I've been sitting on. I hadn't cashed it out in months and months. Like, I almost forgot about it, and I went and looked at it, and I was like, oh, that's a little bit of scratch there. So I went ahead and cashed it out, but I haven't let go of those tokens yet. I don't know that I'm ready to do that because it's a new ecosystem. It's on Optimism. I feel like I don't want to miss out on potential gains off that, so I'm going to hold on to those for now. Cosmos Hub Atom has moved up because of the amount of pump on that coin. I also did a cash out on it. I do not sell off this position until I get to a certain metric, and I am not there yet. That's another position that I will be looking at potentially finalizing and, getting that position closed out. Because I got to figure out if I'm going to go the redacted route or if I'm going to close a thing or two out within my immediate strike range to where it's like, hey, I owe a couple of more dollars over here for these certain positions to get those where they need to be. That said, it's going to be a tough decision because, like, for me, like, the new stuff I get excited about. The stuff that I've already got is a little bit harder of a sell. But most of the positions, like the boring stuff, is solid foundational positions. Looking at on-chain staking, looking at consistent gains. Like I said, I always try to secure as many easy wins as possible now. And while it might be not the most interesting, I would rather have a bunch of, 2 to 3x gains, or 2 to 6x gains, I guess, would be more accurate. 2 to 6x gains, because that's kind of what I'm looking at anyway. Then lose chunks of my wealth and be able to, have a few 2s, couple of 3s, and some 6s, some solid 6s, and multiply my wealth versus gambling it all off and losing it on plays that are just not what the easy win is, and then come up with less money than what I should have had, because that's the way that I gauge this at this point. And that's the way that I gauge most people's portfolio. Like, when someone tells me, oh, I did this, this, and this, I'm like, okay, so, like, over this time frame, what did Bitcoin do and what did Ethereum do? What did you do better than that? Because that's the metric. Like, if you didn't do better than that, you technically lost money because you could have just bought Bitcoin, you could have just bought Ethereum, you could have just bought Chainlink, and then gone, okay, over this 5 year period, I made this much money. And, you know, that's going to be a totally different conversation than what most people are wanting to have, because like they want to talk about the win, but it's like, well, if you're in this market, then did you make more than if you would have just bought Bitcoin and Ethereum overall? Like if not, then your portfolio didn't do that well, in my opinion, because a portfolio that's heavily weighted in Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's going to beat you. My portfolio will beat you. Like you're not going to win. You will not win. One of the other things before we jump over to the this page, let's look at this, because I had this conversation on my live stream and people were not understanding. So we're gonna go look at Bitcoin. We're gonna go look at the max chart, and there's something that I want people to understand, and it's whenever people want to compare anything to Bitcoin, period, and this is the all-time low, which isn't the all-time low. So the first thing that people don't understand is Bitcoin started at 5 cents. And like they don't even go back that far. So CoinGecko doesn't actually give you the full deal, but even not having the full deal, like with what CoinGecko gives you, which is not accurate because Bitcoin started, its release price was 5 cents. And the furthest back it gives you is 2013, which I think they give you the first bull run because it's 2024. Yeah, so they give you the first bull run. And so there's a couple of things that I want to make known here. And that's first fact, Bitcoin released, it was 5 cents. So if you're trajecting forward, there's nothing since the beginning of Bitcoin that you could have invested in where you could have made close to the return you've made on Bitcoin. That's the first thing. So looking at this, and for those of you who are listening, we are looking at the CoinGecko Bitcoin chart, and the furthest it goes back is 2013, which it does not capture the release price. So like this is picking up during the first bull run basically. But projecting its all-time low, from the all-time low, which is July 6th of 2013, the all-time low that's recorded on CoinGecko is $67.81. The gain since the all-time low is 33,774.7%. Since the projected all-time low, which is an order of magnitude, so the people who got in at the start when this released at 5 cents were already in the green at the projected all-time low by a lot. When you're looking at this and you go, okay, cool, so since 2013, what could you have invested in as a normal average human that netted 33,774.7%? Nothing. Literally nothing. And that's based on the price right now. With us at a 66.7% drop since the blow off top of 2021 at 69,000. So we're down 66%. But since 2013, that's the gain with the current price. It's 774.7%. There's nothing on this planet that you could have invested in those time frames as an average investor where you're going to get those gains. Period. Which brings me to the reason I brought this up, because one of my Discord fams brought a really good post in and wanted my opinion on it, and I was like, this was such a good piece that he brought to my attention that, shout outs to Lincoln, that I was like, this is going in the video because I can rant about this for a little bit. So the reason he brought this to my attention is because recent news, this is CNBC, Charlie Munger says the U.S. should follow China's footsteps and ban cryptocurrencies. This man is 99 years old. Literally, any corner, the wind blows wrong. The stairs are too moist. Like, anything. This dude's gone. Not only that, he's stupid rich. Stupid rich. But he's a rich old man who got rich in a market that we are not allowed to compete in. He has access to things and investment tools that we have no way of ever accessing. You know what he gets regularly? He has access to 33,000% gains. We do not. These people who come from these legacy systems, the Charlie Mungers, the Warren Buffetts, all of these people, these systems are set up to benefit them specifically because they've run it. The system takes care of itself. They're not talking about the best interest of the people. None of these systems were set up for the people and writ large to get wealthy. None of them. You can use them to protect wealth, but you're going to have to build it on your own. And their whole purpose is to keep people from being able to build it. Like that, there's no other way to cut this. Like, they literally want to do what China's doing to keep people from being able to leave with their wealth. That's why China banned Bitcoin. They don't want people taking wealth away from the country or the system. There's no other way to cut this. And for these men to bold face say to people and give them bad investment advice or give bad hot takes because it benefits them. It benefits them for you to stay miserable in the system that you are currently in. You will never get rich. They're going to keep telling you to save your money, and maybe one day when you're 99, this dude's been rich since he was in his 50s or younger. I don't even know. But what I'm saying is, he didn't wait till he was 99 to have money and an opinion. This dude's had an opinion and money for a very long time. He got to enjoy his wealth. The trajectory that most of you are on, you will never be able to enjoy a goddamn thing. Because they're making it worse as we're supposed to be saving our money. So when they give their hot takes and they're like, well, Bitcoin's rat poison or Bitcoin's terrible and I don't like cryptocurrency because it's a scam. And I'm like, well, you know what? Banking's a scam also unless you're a private and have a private banking relationship. That's a bold-faced ass scam that we were just indoctrinated into, and they're like, well, it was a scam that you were in, so this is fair because you can't compete and you got to stay where you're at till you get a certain level. Then you can have a seat at the table. But that's a scam. The fact that we're using dollars that are backed by nothing, that have literally no value. None. That you can't go cash a dollar in for any type of tangible asset. Period. None. Zero value. That is a scam. A system where you have to already be rich to get involved in the investments that yield life-changing generational wealth is a scam. You are not allowed to compete beyond what they allow you to compete with, which the reason they allow you to compete on those levels when you look at the traditional market, shout outs to everybody who's doing options trading, shout outs to everybody who's investing in stocks, but you're dealing with scraps. Not only are you dealing with scraps, you're dealing with scraps where you're not on an equal playing field with anyone who has money. So like you're literally competing with other average and poor people because there have to be losers on those trades. But the losers are never them. It's just you. And people like you. You are crabs in a bucket. That is what that is. And if you happen to figure out a way to make it out, cool. But best believe if too many people do it, they will either A, shut it down, or B, make it so you can't do it anymore. Look at what they did with Robinhood when the big shorts happened. AMC, GameStop. Not only did they turn the trading things off, they told you that you should be out having dates with girls and having a life because you're not supposed to be competing with them. That's what happens when they lose. So it's not a level playing field. So the somebody going, hey, we're not in control of the scam. Like if crypto is a scam, then I prefer a scam where I have a chance to win against anybody else versus, hey, you if you beat me at my game, I'm just going to turn the game off and we'll reset and you should be outside because now we're going to shame you for taking the time to understand how this game works that you weren't supposed to have time to learn. What the hell? So I mean when I look at other markets, and I am in other markets, but I'm in them from a utility perspective and not from a perspective of I think I'm doing something in that market because I know that in those markets I'm not. I'm not capable. You don't have a team. No single investor is out here winning like that over a long term. They tell you only hear about the wins. There's no chart to show, oh, this is just what this has done. This investment specifically, like it's not easy. Like you have to go learn something. You have to go through all these hoops and hurdles to hopefully win sometimes. But nobody to this date is documenting losses. Period. So until I see that game and it's like, oh, okay, well I made $15 million this year, but like, did you lose 50? Like, because you didn't make 15 million, you're documenting the wins. Like, if it's collectively, you're not able to show your entire portfolio and be like, okay, this is where I'm at in this portfolio for this year. And actually, like, ascribe a number value where you could be green or negative, where you can actually like track how this is going, then like you're not able to substantiate to me that these markets are actually even gameable because I don't care about the time that you won if you lost 50 times. Like, unless the one win was so big that it covered all the 50 losses, like, that's a different conversation. But on a long enough timeline, the stock market is literally going to the casino, in my opinion, because it's not set up for us to win. And there's no way that you can explain that it is, because there's no way that you can substantiate the, oh, well, like if you just invest in the stock market, it's like, yeah, if you just invest in the stock market and then you get old, then like, yeah, sure. On a long enough timeline, then you eventually have money because at 10% a year, eventually it doubles and then you have compound interest. I get it. But like if you're just saving money, that means like you're grinding your body to death until you're old. And then when your body's all beat to shit, you're going to have to pay to get your body fixed to even be able to enjoy the money. And that's if there's anything left, depending on how much you saved. Like you're just not able to get those exponential gains unless you have access to IPOs, or at some point along your financial trajectory you get into a position to where you qualify as an accredited investor, and then you can do whatever you want with your money because you're making so much money that they're like, you're basically already rich, come play the game with us. But that doesn't help average people. And average people are the ones who need those life altering gains. They do not have access to it. In crypto, as an average person, you do. And that's where I'm going to leave that. And like I will revisit that conversation any day, because there's no market that you're going to put up where people are making those gains. And you could have made those gains by doing nothing else besides not selling like holding the asset for long enough. Just not real. Like you're going to have to try to game a system where you're competing with people who have hundreds of people working for them, teams, AI bots. Like you're just not, it's not a system that is set up for individuals to go in there and compete with the big dogs. Like you're just not doing that. It's not real. In crypto, it's really not hard. You make a very boring portfolio, not financial advice, but if you just invest in Ethereum and Bitcoin, you're going to be good. Um, so I think that's where we're going to close out on that tonight. Definitely things that you can do to support the channel. Obviously, like, share, subscribe, drop me a comment. Let's have a conversation. Take it down to the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on Charlie Munger and 99 years old saying that the U.S. should basically do what China's doing and oppress its people and keep them from being able to leave the country with their wealth. Like, that sounds scary as hell. They're like, make it so that we can't take our money out of the system that they're using to oppress us. Because basically, if you want to get technical, the traditional finance system is oppressive to people. Not black people, not just white people. People in general. Like, if you're not rich, it's oppressive to you. Like, you're getting charged fees for stuff. You're getting treated like a second rate citizen by people who are actively loaning out your money. Like, it's super insane. And I could have a whole show on the levels of oppression that this traditional financial system has in place. It's basically a caste system. They set this up so that way you are locked into the spot that you are, and then they are utilizing you as a resource and a means of income generation via taxes, ticketing, multiple levels. Everyone's picking at you for your money, basically. But like, share, subscribe, drop me a comment, let me know what your thoughts are. And as always, like, there's ways to support the channel down in the comments. There's some links for those of you who are new to the space, who are maybe not on some of the same exchanges that I am. I use centralized exchanges minimally, but I do have some referral codes down there for the ones that I've tried and vetted that I've used before that are tolerable. And obviously, you can drop me an email. You can reach me in the Discord for the bag chasers. I am in the cryptocurrency channel every day. I'm cruising in there, even if I'm not physically posting in there. I do check that channel for new posts, just to make sure there's not somebody who has a question that I have an answer to. Anyways, I will catch you guys next week. Let's see what this week does, and we will be revisiting, obviously, the way the market has moved and the updates to the portfolio. Until then, you guys have a great week. I hope this finds you well. I hope you are starting off your weeks strong. For those of you who are catching this publicly, it will be on Wednesday, February 8th. So, you're halfway through the week. I'm hoping you're having a good week. And if you're not having a good week, it's hump day. It's not too late to turn it around. You guys have a great one. Till next time, this is your boy, Reckless Ray De Niro, and I'm out.